Invitational Finals Day here in Kiev in the Cybersport Arena. We already have one finalist, we just need one more. Is it going to be Optic? Is it going to be Fnatic? We'll find out here in this third game as we are in the second semifinals here with Nahaz and Lacoste, and we are ready for some awesome dotes. I think we're going to see things a little bit changing here, at least for Fnatic. When we saw them with their backs against the wall yesterday, they pulled out a quick one, Lacoste. So perhaps this time they'll make sure that we end before 30 minutes in the game.
Yeah, but they love to play third game in BO3,
they
definitely.
Do. They do.
Yeah, they should maybe, I probably underestimated the draft from Optic Gaming, maybe underlooked some of the things, but Fnatic needs a better draft. I said I preferred their draft. I was wrong. I'm not afraid to say when I was wrong, but they need to draft better lanes, and I still feel that they need to give DJ a hero to be a playmaking hero.
As the sort of the marked contrast, a guy that we haven't talked a lot about for Optic has been Zai, who's been quietly magnificent in this series. He was in 15 assists. He was in on 17 of the 21 Optic kills in that game too. And when you talk about a guy that can just alter the balance of power, either by rotating across lanes or just by staying at the side of that 33 Razor top and bullying with some clutch snowball saves as the game goes on, he had a really huge impact there.
Yeah, we have also criticized CCNC a lot this tournament because it seems to be all eyes on him in terms of Optic and their performance as a whole in this season. And previous game went quite okay. He had a little bit of a rough start in the lane, but he recovered quite good.
I think he's done. I actually think he's done very well at this event. He's been kind of the lightning rod for this Optic roster that a lot of people felt has underachieved throughout the season. But like I said, I thought he really kind of found his footing at this event when they put him on that Lina in the third game of the first series on their first series on Thursday, and I feel like he's been a positive presence for the team ever since.
I mean, his Lina is phenomenal. I wouldn't be unhappy to see it perform here again. It is one of those heroes that can normally only be 5th pick though, so.
One of the reasons that CCNC is playing good right now is that he finally found the form and is playing around the team. Usually he's like a pub star, loves to play those flashy heroes and wants to make a lot of space, goes in solo action. So maybe that's PPD that kind of tamed him and making him more of a team-oriented player.
Yeah, whatever it's been, it's always, you know, I've heard that over and over about him. He has that reputation among so many people in the Dota scene. But if you actually talk to the guy, he's kind of on the quieter side. He's a very cerebral dude, extremely intelligent, and a lot of game knowledge. So it just feels like it's taken a while for that game knowledge to really express itself in his play.
Yeah, and when PPD was questioned in the interview as well, he would rather have someone with good mechanical skill and Dota knowledge that has a bit of an ego compared to anything else, so that he can mold it. Basically.
Well, that's maybe Peter speaking from experience. I don't know.
Well, you need to have that captain or a coach that everyone has high, what's the word?
Respect for.
Respect. That's right.
Yes.
That's the word. They need to respect them, and then their ego is not gonna be that big. They need a voice that can calm them down. And Pango from Fnatic.
Feels like we've seen this before. The Rubik first pick and Naga Pango a little earlier in the draft instead of the Terrorblade that we saw in game 1.
When we had the Pangolier in the first game of the series, the first 10 minutes, this Pangolier went absolutely off.
Oh, he owned, yeah.
How do you slow that Pangolier down? What do you do?
You think about the lanes. That was all, yes, Universe played well. He's one of my favorite players all time, but a lot of that was about the laning matchups, and Optic come back with, to me, what is exactly the right answer, a gyrocopter that can be incredibly strong in lane. He's not nearly as easy to dive as a lot of these cores that we're talking about, and you have the flexibility to move him over to the mid position if the laning matchups dictate. This is a hero that we haven't seen a lot of first phase gyrocopter at this event, and yeah, there have been some other heroes like Underlord that have come to the fore, and the flat cannon nerf in 7-1-2 probably plays a role, but I really like this pick for Optic here.
Yeah, Naga Siren is one of the better heroes against the Pango. I guess that's the reason why they picked both of them together, and they love to play with Naga Siren. I mean, Naga's net cancels Pango's ulti.
And Fnatic loves Roshan, and as Nahaz already said earlier as well, Naga is great around Roshan. previous game, Optic did have a say in that, though. They went for a nice Roshan lineup themselves. As in, at least a lineup that could fight around the pit better than what they could in the first game of the series.
Yep, and I think, you know, we talk, it's only natural, right? Because our job is to tell the stories of the players, but we do sometimes talk a little bit too much about individual play and too little about team play. Like I was saying earlier about the criticism of Envy, I thought Optic as a team planned their uses of Exorcism really, really well in the last game. If you saw them use that Exorcism to secure the Roche fairly quickly, with Fnatic never really being able to threaten, the timing of their pushes, I just felt it looked like they were playing off a script.
They were on the same page, and it showed.
Yeah.
I feel like you need something that goes through the BKB against the Pango. Maybe a Beastmaster should be a good ban once he rolls in, that completely shuts him down.
Right, you could
too many
always
heroes
go
left
for
in
a
the pool.
Void.
Yeah, Void is really weak against Naga Siren Sleep. Just
That is
cancels the
true.
combo.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they ban out the Doom instead.
Or that, so.
Why would they ban out the Doom in this case? Because even if Pango rolls in, he's still going to continue rolling even if he's doomed.
Well, I think just Fnatic, due to the nature of, just due to the way they play, they end up in a lot of these situations where they've got a single core lineup, either by design or just because the game has gone on so long, and the ability of the Doom to just take one hero out of the equation is always going to be scary. And like Lacoste said, it does deal with the Pangos, and you can doom him during his ult.
There's the Beastmaster. Maybe, I'm not sure about the interaction. Maybe Doom actually stops his movement. I'm not sure. Didn't see it. Maybe this opens up the DP pick. It's still in the pool. They have AA. They need some tower damage, some team fight oriented hero.
They go for the lifestealer.
I like that a little better. Lifesteal, you need a hero that can kind of get in the face of the gyrocopter. The obvious criticisms, he is very stable in lane, is the lifestealer. The obvious criticisms are that you don't have a delivery vehicle for him. Maybe the Pango, if he goes the early blink, can fulfill that role.
And maybe the last hero can help with that as well. Maybe they are planning on getting one of those mobile heroes for Abed. Those are the heroes that he shines on best. Maybe we're going to see finally a double hero coming out for him.
Although I do worry, like if you put Abed on something like Puck, first of all, that puts you kind of on the early game side, and it also it makes it so that Envy is your main damage dealer. I always like it when Envy and Abed are both capable of getting in the middle of those fights.
Gyro's probably going to be on the off lane, so they could pick position 4 hero right now. Could be Elder Titan just for the setup.
I'm down. I'm always down with ET Beastmaster dual lane or ET Gyro, and I think if you then turn around with your 5th pick and pick something magic damage focused for Quinn, I think the Elder Titan helps out.
Maybe they're thinking about DP, even though AA is a great counter to a DP. That's their tower damage, the siege. They had a good game in the previous one, so that's the lane. Beastmaster and Keeper of the Light.
That is so that's the NA special.
Yeah, Lifestealer will need to dodge that lane.
Golly, that's just nasty.
I almost forgot about this combo.
I actually seen this exact same lane. Beastmaster, Keeper of the Light, and against AA plus Lifestealer and one more hero. Lifestealer actually did great because they have nothing to stop the... they can just go with the open wounds. If open wounds is level 2, he can be in the range, and with the follow-up, they can easily kill them. Extra slowdown from the Chilling Touch and the Naga Siren just to stop the TPs, and they're pretty much dead. They just need to play the lane correctly.
Yeah, the key though there in what you said is the one more hero. There are a lot of tri-lanes that can stand up to Beastmaster Coddle. The Beastmaster Coddle combo was getting heavily punished by people picking Chen. People were just picking Chen and just running at the Coddle, and that was controlling that lane. But yeah, I really like it here. But with the Chen nerf, you don't have that ability to control the lane equilibrium anymore, and it doesn't fit into Fnatic's lineup anyway. I actually think if Optic are looking at this and saying if we force them into a tri lane with AA, Lifestealer, Naga, that's fine because we're going to win the other two.
the Storm ban.
Do
Yeah.
they want to go for my Storm ban? I mean, usually you ban Storm if you want to pick Tinker,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have enough lockdown. Beastmaster is the only hero that can lock them. Pretty high cooldown on his ulti. Rubik doesn't provide you anything against hero like a Storm Spirit, and Abed plays a really mean Storm Spirit. Maybe that's just the reason. I don't think they're gonna pick Tinker here.
Storm is pretty good against Lina too.
I think DP or Dragon Knight is just are both fine here. I would love to see the Lina. That's the kind of what I'm rooting for. But I think you pick DP or Dragon Knight here and just win the game and just play straight up. No fancy play required.
Kiss Cam, go.
I mean, hey, dude, that's a guy in a gal at a Dota event. Like the gal looks like she's like really into the draft.
She
I
was
like this.
explaining Dota to him.
I
That's
want
what
to meet this woman.
That's what I understood.
I'm just
from
kidding,
that.
honey.
There's the Lina.
There is the Lina. All right, perfect. That's
nice.
That feels good, man.
It does. A very comfortable draft, I think. I think Optic is very happy with this.
I think on paper and the Abed Kunkka. Now it's got to be said. I thought that this Lina Kunkka lane was quite Lina favored. Abed dumpstered Dendy's Lina in a game the other day. They are very confident in him playing this lane. We are going to see CCNC first couple quick waves. You're going to find out really quickly whether Abed really is this good at the matchup.
Yeah, he played a phenomenal Kunkka in that specific game.
I love Optic's lineup. It feels that Fnatic lineup is so squishy.
Yeah.
They have nothing to start a fight with besides X-Mark or just using the song. Pretty hard lineup to execute.
All right, so you're going for Optic.
Yes.
Everything Lacoste said, Optic.
All right, I think we got 3 going the way of Optic here. I think Fnatic has a say in it too, though. Don't worry, they definitely have a shot here. What?
No,
I don't see
there
that,
you
dude.
go.
It's like, I can't see that. All right, let's get over to our commentary team.
Thank you very much, Sheev. And indeed, game 3 now between Optic Gaming and Fnatic. And we've got some more big shows coming out for this one. We have the Abed Kunkka and we have the CCNC Lina. Some exciting finishers for draft that already sort of had some heroes come through that we don't normally see, or haven't seen for a while. Like the Keeper of the Light. It's coming back in this game. A hero that's sort of been forgotten in a lot of the drafts at this LAN.
Yeah, and Optic's drafts, I think the slight pattern that I've recognized is for the first 2 games of a best of 3, CCNC is not allowed to play Dota. You're going to give him a Razor, you're going to give him a DK, you're going to give him a Death Prophet, and he's just going to sit there and take it. And then in game 3, they unmuzzle him, and they're like, okay, fine, you've had to play a whole bunch of boring stuff, but we're going to let you play flashy this time. And so they give him the Lina this time. He already paid his dues on the DK in game 1 in a grueling match. Game 2, he did very well on the Death Prophet, and now Game 3, he's going to be on this Lina up against the Kunkka Abed, the only hero that they have yet to repeat on Abed during this tournament.
And that's sort of the discussion was going, a lot of focus on that matchup in the mid lane. I mean, what do you sort of expect to see out of the matchup between these 2 players on these 2 heroes? Who do you expect to come out on top in this sort of head-to-head?
I think Optic Gaming are going to be more willing to rotate to the mid lane than Na'Vi were with their Lina. Most of the time with Dendy's Lina, they were only willing to show up whenever Lina was like about to die. Whereas against Abed, I think if you're like, maybe not the keeper, but the Rubik is going to be probably making a handful of rotations down to the mid lane, I imagine, to make sure that it's not as free as Tidebringer oftentimes makes it.
Let's have a look. Of course, everything on the line here for this game 3. Both teams fighting for a spot in the grand finals against VGJ Thunder. Let's see who is going to be able to take it. Looking for those runes, DJ. We'll be able to grab the one down bottom this time around. We'll get this even split. Of course, last game where we saw Optic get the lead, they did take all 4. So this time we're back to an even playing ground.
I like the approach that Optic is making with giving Zai a kind of non-roam-oriented hero. We were pointing a finger at Fnatic in pretty much all their series this game, which is saying, like, so DJ's been relegated to more of a support, and Adam is also kind of a support. Neither of these heroes that are often drafted for these players are really exceptional at roaming. Whenever we're seeing like these Naga Sirens and whatnot, it's usually in a 2-1-2 matchup all day long. And it did really well for Fnatic in Game 1, this Pangolier Naga Siren duel matchup, and we'll see if they can do as well against a Gyrocopter.
Talking about strong dual lanes, the Beastmaster Keeper of the Light.
This is, according to Winter, the hardest dual lane
Yep.
in the game.
It certainly gets pretty obnoxious once the levels are there so that 33 can continue to stack up the debuffs from the axes, continue the spam. So we'll see how Fnatic can deal with that pressure.
Who just popped his Salve? I heard a Salve. Was
Abed.
that- Oh, it was in the mid lane. Okay, yeah, I keep forgetting that I see your camera. Yeah, so we'll see how CCNC is able to fare here. Right now, Adam is rotating on him,
He is. He's
which is
looking for the body
uncharacteristic,
blocks.
but might work as a torrent.
They've got the connection perfectly done there. I don't know if they'll quite be able to finish off this kill, but nonetheless, a bit of harassment onto CCNC forces him to pop his salve. And we'll get a bit of space for Abed to take a little bit of control back from the creep wave, but overall, CCNC coming out on top on these first few waves.
You kind of need to play it in a... Your job as Lina is just to get CS. You get a few levels in your spells. I'm actually kind of surprised that he's going for points in Fiery Soul, but I'm sure he knows this matchup far better than me. But you kind of got to hit and run. You clear out the creep wave, maybe go over to the jungle, and just make sure that Kunkka can't land Tidebringers on you all day. Is he going to land another torrent in the mid lane? But just for her asses, 33 zones out DJ.
Giving him quite a bit of a rundown. I mean, DJ was heading towards that middle lane. So in a bit of an awkward
They chase him
position.
all the way here, and he's like, you guys want to do a gank? Because I'm in the mid lane.
They've got Adam leading in. And with the three of them here, they should have a pretty good job at taking CCNC down. The combo comes through. And I mean, they knew that DJ was in the neighborhood, but CCNC steps a little bit too far forward.
I
and
guess they just assumed that DJ would TP out.
I guess so.
But he stuck around. Solid rotation. And Hero was saying that Optic were going to be the ones rotating, but no, Fnatic are like, we'll take these heroes that aren't really, that we haven't been abusing as rotation heroes, and let's get some kills.
Putting the pressure on down bottom as 33 returns to the lane. Envy, he's got 10 for 4 against the 8 for 2, so still CSing pretty well despite the aggression of this dual lane with the Beastmaster and Keeper of the Light. Middle lane, Abed heading back for a quick refuel. The X mark, and even though CCNC was taken down the once, still doing okay in terms of CS against Abed's Kunkka. 18 for 3 against the 11 for 1. He does have that lead still.
And both the carries are looking pretty neck and neck as well. Envy, despite being against what is supposedly, like, those Winter's words, not mine, that this is one of the hardest dual lanes. And I can see the potential, like you said, once Chakra Magic is up and running, which Zai has 2 points in it, and Snare on the Courier.
He's trying for it there, but that protection will be enough to get it out. Not quite enough right click really on the Naga Siren to take down a Courier at this stage of the game, even with the net. And PPD also there just to make sure that the Naga Siren can't get too close to his Gyrocopter. Pikeout heading over. We'll be able to make sure that they get to the 2 bounty runes from top. Optic. And Zai actually playing a haste rune here. We'll be able to keep the distance to make sure the cold feet doesn't proc. Doesn't look like he wants to stick around and continue to man fight DJ. As we'll head straight down towards the bottom. Give 33 a bit of a top up in mana.
Now there's another rotation coming in on the mid lane. This time AA is going to teleport, and Adam shows himself, gets a pretty deep in Snare.
I mean, they know that they can get the tornado, but indeed he's going under the tower for this one, and PPD just TP's in. And with the help of the Rubik, CCNC is able to turn around and get the kill. We've seen Adam do this before, where he makes these overly aggressive plays underneath the tower. And that one does cost him his life.
Yeah, I was pretty optimistic. That's the kind of play you make if AA is like level 6 or something like that, and you can get an Ice Blast afterwards, but not at this stage of the game.
It felt like either way, he was not getting out alive from that situation.
No way.
A very, very deep dive there from Adam.
And now that points are up in Tidebringer, you see CCNC is playing very back, but that's the way it should be done. The creeps are eventually going to come to him, and that's all that really matters at the end. You're going to get CS, you're going to get experience, but you're not going to zone out Kunkka. And Adam going for another attempt. This is the most I've ever seen him move around.
Let's see if he can get away with it. He knows that he's been sort of spotted, so back away. Can he find the opening onto
he hasn't
CCNC?
spotted yet. Yeah, CCNC does not suspect it. But he knows that Naga Siren has not really shown up. back to the top lane. It's just Universe. And Adam's now going to TP to the bot lane.
See if they can kick anything off.
I mean, Envy's got 3 points in rage. He's doing fairly well here.
They're going to turn straight away towards 33. They've got the net into the cold feet. That'll be enough to stun 33 up and take him down. The rotation from Adam a success. Opening up this bottom lane, making sure that Envy can continue to farm. Mid lane CCNC getting very low. It's going to be the backup here from PPD as he looks towards Abed. Abed tries for the X mark and the tie bring a hit, but CCNC will be able to keep the distance. Will be able to live for now.
And Shrine's up top, so he'll hit that up. And he's doing exceptionally well. Like, initially I was skeptical about the matchup whenever I saw Abed versus Dendi, and I guess that's just chalked up to Abed being mechanically superior to Dendi in this particular matchup, and so it is not nearly that case here. And so if Fnatic were drafting this for Abed with the intention that it would be able to just dumpster Lina, that has not gone according to plan.
A wrap around on the bottom lane coming in as Adam looking for a target. Will turn towards 33. Again with the setup there, the root. Surrounding 33, looking for those body blocks as well. Adam will make sure that Envy gets himself involved in another kill on this bottom lane.
Yo, I'm super impressed with Adam this game. I don't even care that he died underneath the tower that time. This is like newbie style. It's now mid lane, Laguna Blade.
Can they quite finish it? He's got the one charges.
Whoa.
He's going to
Wow.
survive Abed.
Doesn't even go for the bow. That's Nerves of Steel. He knew his limits.
It's very tanky Kunkka, of course, early on, able to
Yo,
withstand the burst.
Shout out to 4.6 magic resistance that he has thanks to strength. That's 7.13 right there.
Overall, 3-for-1 Adam back towards the mid lane. It's going to look to just soak up some of this XP and farm whilst Abed is out of the lane. Oh, CS. He's got this one. There we go. So an extra bit of money.
Not as much as what Optic are getting right now. Zai and 33 have been stacking this hard camp in the bottom lane and just down shredded it with Wild Axes and Illuminate. So Beastmaster about to hit level 6. Caudle level 4.5 right now. Despite not going for very many rotations, Optic Gaming in this offlane are doing very, very well. Now Beastmaster's 6, so Envy may need to be careful. He's already got 3 stacks of axes on him. And 33 wants a 4th, and he gets it. No, 5th. Both of the axes connect.
Hunts once more, but Envy able to keep himself behind the tower. They have managed to clear out all those trees, though, so they do have a
This feels weird.
good amount of information in terms of what's going on around that tier 1 tower.
Tango.
Universe is going to get the chance of rolling footer before the missile hits. He will. So he'll be able to roll himself away back into the missile to get rid of it.
33 wants a net. Places a ward, but already Optic Gaming have backed out. Now 4 heroes are up here. Abed has joined the party.
Yeah, he's able to clean out this stack as well. There's about a triple stack here.
Pycat's like, no, stop it. Go away. That was for me.
That's a big amount of gold going the way of Abed. They even get the torrent onto Pycat on the way out for the extra sort of BM. As Pycat can only stand at the side and watch. Straight back towards mid Abed. Of course, after the phase, going straight for that armlet.
Oh, net, top lane. Rubik taking quite a bit of damage.
Can they finish him off? They're diving in here. They're both getting low though. The counterplay is being attempted, but Swashbuckle's actually going to be off the mark from a Universe.
And he's getting missiled. Rolling Thunder's not up for another 15 seconds.
They got the control
one
of the
more
zap.
Swashbuckle second? No.
Couldn't quite get out in time. Pycat and PPD find the kill. At the same time, down bottom, Raw was used. 33 able to kill off Envy on his own by the looks of it.
Wow.
A big solo kill for the Beastmaster to find.
And we'll see how 33 wants to do his Beastmaster. The Universe build, as we've seen, is Shadowblade into Necrobook. And 33 has, I believe, a Necro... No, never mind. Doesn't have anything yet. Just sitting on 1280 gold. But they can afford to play very greedy. I mean, you've got a Caudle. They've been stacking like crazy on the side of Dire. And now another stack being claimed by Caudle and Beastmaster in this eastern camp.
PPD. He's managed to find himself level 6. We'll go for the quick steal.
He's got Rage. He can X out of it.
Easy.
Easy. Definitely a much softer Kunkka than we've seen from previous matches from Abed. He's still working his way to that armlet, and the last time we saw this Kunkka, he went for a halberd second item, but that was a whole bunch of different decisions, and now X comes out on 33.
Yeah, they're
He
going
has
to turn.
Roar.
They have the boat coming in onto 33. 33 gets caught in the combo, pops the fairy fire, trying to keep his distance. Could he actually get himself out of this one? He's heading into the tree line with the backup. 33 is going to be able to get out of there, goes into the trees, TP's away. The backup from Optic enough to make sure that they can get their Beastmaster out of that combo and back to the base, back to safety.
I'm actually kind of surprised that he TP'd out. He was able to get out, and he's had Roar and Mana for the entire time. And CCNC's Lina's rotated. He has Laguna Blade ready to go, but he is pretty high net worth on this Beastmaster, to be fair. Actually, no, he's not. He's 5th lowest. Well, whatever.
It's very close,
He's very
sort
close.
of amongst the top
everyone's
6.
tied for that placement as now telekinesis on the mid lane.
They've got the
Nice.
combo perfectly down as they burst Adam.
Buys out his Tranquil Boots before he dies, at least.
Yeah, Universe has got his first Javelin done for the game, so we'll start to see how much of an impact he can have on this Pango. Game 1, it was pretty good. He got this good start, these early items, and was able to do quite a lot in terms of disrupting Optic Gaming with his rotations.
Yeah, and the potential to be irritating as Fnatic this game is very, very high. Surprisingly, Envy is going for the Armlet build as opposed to the Radiance build, which we see so frequently. But
Yeah, that is a bit of a change-up.
yeah, and I guess part of the reason is because really the only person who will get affected by the Radiance burn is going to be the Gyrocopter. Lina's range is probably a little bit too high that she won't get burned, but even like the Solar Crest would, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, one of the reasons why I think the Armlet could be so good for the lifesteal of this game is because you are playing with a Kunkka in your lineup. So
If he gets a Blink Dagger.
You are going to get that run buff.
You are, that's
so
true.
there's that extra sort of chance to play around with the Armlet, which is going to be super good against sort of the magical burst that.
But at the same time,
Optic
whenever you have
has.
the run buff and being able to survive for so long with Radiance Burn is
Sure.
valuable, as now PPD gets X'd up, does not have Rage anymore, gets killed by the boat, and meanwhile, or not yet, gets killed by Tidebringer, and meanwhile the bot lane invasion.
Yeah, TPs are coming in to try and back up Envy. Can they kill Envy in time? They have the Roar. Optic claim 1, but now looking for the counterplay. They'll get out the Ice Blast. DJ onto Pycat. Pycat's picked up a couple. He's trying to get himself away, but here comes Universe rolling in. Has the Rolling Thunder, the Shield Crash as well. They'll take down Pycat. On 33, we'll actually be able to cut down DJ as well on the back of it, but Abed, he's got the control. Brings him in. He does have the double damage. He's affected by the Blinding Light for now,
he's
so
gonna Tidebringer
can't
off
grab the
creep.
punch. Oh, he does it with style.
Very well played. Abed waits for the Blinding Light debuff to time out, and then looks for the creep, cleaves off of it with that double damage rune, and finishes off the Beastmaster.
Very nice indeed from
But
Abed.
Lina wants to get recalled in. Abed is still farming here.
Ooh, that Blinding Light as well. Popping him back into the range of PPD. They've got the chain stun. Have they got enough? It certainly looks to be that they have, as they will punish Abed. Quick heads-up play from Zai, bringing CCNC into the lane and getting that counter kill onto Abed.
And now another recall. They bring Pycat into this bot lane after he respawns, and they're going to be able to just claim a tower off of this, most likely. Beastmaster is still back at the base, and Spirit Form has timed out now, so instead 33 is going to head over to the mid lane, which has been claimed. And CCNC is just going to solo push bot. But Fnatic are smoked.
Let's see if they can close the gap. Pycat will be the juicy kill. They were able to kill him after he overextended down bottom before. Can they get the catch on him again? He's already backing away, Adam.
They've got Song.
Can look for the setup onto 33. It is a pretty beefy Beastmaster, but probably not beefy enough to deal with this amount of heroes surrounding him. 5 heroes collapse onto 33. And are able to catch out the Beastmaster.
And it doesn't look like Kunkka's going to go Blink. Instead, he's going to go Crit. So Envy and this Armlet are going to have to find kills by themselves or jumping into Pangolier, which I actually don't think I've seen
pretty good
before.
with the Pango. Yeah, you're at the
In
Pango.
theory, it sounds great.
Incredibly mobile. And one of those heroes that once you're in the Rolling Thunder, it's very hard to sort of stop him from closing the gap. You know, each and every time, Universe is going to be able to get on top of you. Farm overall, as we can see, Pycat still leading the net worth with CCNC close behind. It's that overall 3k lead for Optic, but Fnatic certainly showing us that they've got this team fight potential. Sort of the setup, the song into the Rolling Thunder, Ice Blast. They do have ways to burst down Optic Gaming's claws at this stage.
And one of the reasons why I like the role switch of giving DJ more support-oriented heroes, but with the knowledge that he's a greedier player, is that heroes like Ancient Apparition are obviously oftentimes just like, they're there for Ice Blast, and they're not really expected to get very many items. But I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes later, DJ may work his way to an Aghanim Scepter, which could be very valuable, especially since oftentimes we see these Gyrocopters go for Satanic and ultra late game and stuff like that. But whatever the case, we'll see what DJ is able to do on this Ancient Apparition, because right now, Adam is playing far better.
Can CCNC get away with this play? It would have been a tricky one. I wonder if he was going to try for the Light Strike from
Yeah,
from
he would
over
have
the
had a Light
trees.
Strike from Fog.
Yeah, it would have been pretty hard to do. And indeed, he'll just show himself, start pushing the lane back out as
Yeah,
MV will retreat.
He went for the damage talent as opposed to the cast range talent on Lina as well. But he's going for the Shadow Blade. This is similar to his previous build last time he played Lina on CCNC in this tournament. Afterwards, he went for a Pike. I asked him about it. He said, I felt like it. And I was like, great. I've learned so much. So we'll see what he goes for this time. But I do think it's in his best interest to go right-click oriented, especially seeing as how Envy is not going to be going for that Solar Crest build. So all the right-clicks from Lina, we've seen Lina's turn into very, very potent right-click late-game situation physical damage dealers. Oh man, and Rubik steals X. That's actually super value on PPD.
CCNC. So to be a little bit careful here. He's out on his own in the jungle, and Fnatic are moving over towards his position.
Man, I gotta say, seeing Zai doing stuff like this, it brings back memories of AUI's Coddle at TI, where he was just like, he was basically given farm priority. He was just like, go get this Aghanim Scepter in the jungle. We'll hold down the fort in the meanwhile. Which this time Zai has opted for the Force Staff first, but Aghanim Scepter is next on his list. Greedy 5s are making a comeback. Everyone's sleeping on it. Fnatic are kind of bringing it back, potentially, with this DJ Adam roll swap, but looks like Optic can dance that as well.
Overall, though, during these passive points of this game, it is benefiting Optic Gaming. They're just able to farm up the map a little bit better than Fnatic's heroes can.
Yeah, especially if they can go for invasions like this. Is now Smoke Up. Rolling Thunder activated to find CCNC.
They know he's around, down it.
The rest of his team's coming.
They will get the bounce back onto him. He's going to be able to use himself up, but he's already been hit by the Ice Blast debuff. He will fall. The question is, can Optic Gaming find anything in return? Cooldown is going to be dodged by Fnatic as they keep the distance. They've lost Adam. We're going to see anyone else go down. They get the trap onto MV, but Optic understandably a little bit hesitant about chasing this. And indeed, Abed, he's got the catch. He's looking for the setup. MV can't quite close the gap, though. So Optic will be able to get themselves away. It will just be the 1-for-1, but Fnatic, the happier ones, as they do kill off CCNC.
Man, Nerves of Steel and Gyrocopter does not activate his BKB. I guess, I mean, Abed was pump faking his cast animations, but none of them went all the way through, and Pike had recognized that. He was just like, this is a bluff, X, you're not actually going to bring me in, because I'm going to activate my BKB and take this full fight. Which is a very, very early aggressive build from Pycat, and not the way that we usually see with like Sange and Yasha. First item BKB,
BKB
on a Gyrocopter.
into Butterfly. So
Who had basically free farm. He's top net worth right now. But hey.
I mean, if he gets a good time, I mean, at this pace he will as well. He's going to get a good time on the Butterfly. CCNC is able to find DJ with that haste rune ahead straight into the jungle of Fnatic and has the combo. But he's on track to get this very quick BKB into Butterfly timing.
Yeah, and there's no way that the Lifestealer is going to be able to work his way to an MKB, and Kunkka can kind of play around it. He can just cleave off of creeps, and that's guaranteed to be able to make contact off of an evasion target. But, oh yeah, and Kunkka ends up going for the Shadow Blade as opposed to the initial data list that he had queued up after the armlet. And he's hunting right now with that Shadow Blade in the top lane.
Bottom lane, CCNC is pushing in with the backup of 33. That extra bit of an attack speed helping them bring this tier 2 tower down incredibly low. TP's in from Fnatic. They're going to see if they can catch anyone out here. But CCNC and 33 just a little too speedy. They also do have the rest of the side around. Optic, their entire team inside the jungle of Fnatic at the moment.
Yeah, but it looks like they want to push.
And looks like, so Pycat, he did change his build. Didn't go for the straight Butterfly. He managed to get the money for the SMY. He's just bought the Sanjin Yasha straight up. So wanting to add a little bit extra to the skirmish, just that little bit sooner than rather than going for the big items on the side. They've caught out DJ, and that's going to mean no threat of an Ice Blast for 30 seconds. So they can keep this push going down bottom, and they will pick up that tier 2 tower at 20 minutes in. Optic Gaming continuing to grow this lead.
Yeah, and on the topic of item builds, 33 did go for the Dominator plus Medallion, so they're going to be able to get a very early Rosh if they find an opening to do so.
And Zai, about 1,000 gold away from having that completed Aghanims on the Keeper of the Light, and that is when we are really going to see this sort of push, this self-sustain that Optic have really step up. Having that huge heal to provide the backup needed to really go ham with this SMY BKB. Very good timing on the gyrocopter that Pycat has achieved.
I guess part of the advantage of going for the BKB early, I still don't know about first, but going it early and then getting a Sanchin Yasha early, these are a lot of strength items. It means that there's a lot more HP that Coddle has to heal once the Aghanim Scepter is completed. So you can just stand and deliver for a very, very long time. You don't need to go all in on Agi items for damage, but instead just rely on daytime pushes with the heals from the Illuminate.
Envy with his build on the SY and into the Desolator will be his next pickup that he'll look towards.
Smoke up on Optic. CCNC has completed his Shadow Blade. And 33 is leading the charge if they can find Envy.
Ooh, if they can get their Roar to open things up, Envy's going to be in a lot of trouble. There's the Roar. They'll have the chain stun as they burst down Envy, wiping him off the map. That quick movement. As you say, these Shadow Blades from Optic Gaming are going to make any sort of split push like this very hard for Fnatic's cores to make. Particularly when there is that Primal Roar available.
And Universe has just like not been doing anything for a very, very long time. He's
It's
had
been a
this
lot
Blink
slower
Dagger
game for him.
for ages.
He
And
did.
really, it was just that one Rolling Thunder down bot. Is now Abed.
He's going to get chased down. He does have the X-Mark and Torrent onto Pycat to slow him down a little bit, but Pycat still going to come forward with the cooldown.
No detection.
You say, yeah, the Shadow Blade enough to keep Abed safe and is still very much tanky on the Kunkka. Universe.
I mean, yeah, despite not showing up, managed to complete a Lotus Orb.
Yeah, I mean, he's still finding the farm, Universe. That's certainly for sure. As we can see, none of the cores really getting too far behind. Everyone within sort of a few thousand of one another, apart from Pycat. Just
Yeah,
a little bit ahead on the gyro.
The PPD Canyon.
Sure. And then, but of course with Zai.
Yeah, no,
Zai's in the rich
This was the
territory.
plan, yeah.
Zai is...
He's the top 1% right now.
He is very farmed. He's right in sort of the bracket of the offlaners on his Keeper of the Light with the money that he has.
And it'll eventually trickle down to PPD, which, I mean, even PPD is like way more farm than he generally is at this stage. But now Zai has completed the Aghanim Scepter on this Keeper of the Light. It's going to be daytime in 20 seconds, which means find a pick. And if you find a pick, then immediately go to Rosh. Otherwise, you can just kind of smoke up if you don't find a pick. Regardless, Rosh is going to be the next main objective for Optic Gaming.
And Fnatic, they do have good ways of fighting around the Pinnacle. They have the Song, Ice Blast, Rolling Thunder, the combo from Kunkka. Lots of ways to sort of get in.
Right, which is why ideally a pick is the first thing for Optic to do, and they're going to smoke up.
I think, yeah, both teams are going to be happy taking a 5-for-5 as long as they're the side that gets the lead in. We'll see who gets the jump first. It's going to be PPD showing a mid. Straight away, Universe is in with the Rolling Thunder. That's going to be the Rubik down. So Optic down a member. Universe.
No blink for 7 seconds on Universe. He used it to nail the Rubik.
They've got the Hawk inside of the pit. 33 getting the vision for Optic Gaming. Is just the one hero down.
Yeah, and Rolling Thunder's down for 40 seconds now as a result. The boat is still available, and Song is still available, and those are the main cooldowns that you can't spend unless if you're willing to contest the Rosh. Look at that dragon.
Oh, look at those textures.
High definition right there. 4K.
Make sure you got your 4K displays on at home, boys and girls.
I've got my 4K MMRs on.
Aha.
Again, this is the kind of thing you do if you have a Radiance on Lifestealer, but he's chilling.
They're
He
toying
knows
around
he
with
can't
the
get roared inside of a dragon, so might as well find information on like an expendable target.
Abed will quickly head back to refuel
They're
on the mana.
pinging it, but they can't set up anything.
They can't really kill that dragon.
No, they cannot.
They're going to smoke up Optic.
Whoa. Oh. I mean, they're locking this thing down.
They have managed to kill the dragon. MV gets roared, so they have the control to kill him off the rage. He's raged for the time being, and now he's actually going to look to try and turn. BKB's popped by Pycat.
Oh,
in fact, he's kicking out the damage. Adam's going to get taken down. Pycat's still alive as Zai's there with the blinding light, knocking back Fnatic. Envy trying to run with the armor toggling. He could keep himself alive for now. He's still on retreat. He'll turn inside of the Hellbear Smasher. He eats that tomato, gets himself back up to a good amount of health, so he'll be able to continue to run away. Zai
He has a gem.
does manage to find Arbor there with the Mana Leak. CCNC closing the gap with the Shadow Blade, gets the stun off. That'll be a second down. Optic taking 2.
Man, what a freaking Illuminate by Zai, priming that up. Otherwise, Pycat was dead to rights. That song timing was great from Adam, locking everyone on Optic Gaming out. Pycat was the only spell immune target. He was standing and got ensnared, but then Zai's Illuminate comes in, heals him up, does a ton of damage to Fnatic, and now an Ice Blast coming in, but you don't have Kunkka right now. He can buy back, though. But this is going down so quickly.
They can't get her in time. This is going to be a free Roshan of free Aegis for Optic off the back of getting those kills. And an 11k gold lead now for Optic. It's getting very sizably in their favor at just 26 minutes in, with both Pycat and CCNC scaling up to be very scary cores at this stage compared to what Fnatic can offer.
Yeah, Pycat already has the Eagle song completed, working his way to that butterfly, and you already see MKB in the works and Envy's quick bite because he knows what's coming, and he knows that he has to deal damage.
Optic have got that Aegis, but looks like they are going to play it careful. Make sure that they can have the side lanes pushed in as well. Worth noting that we are 27 minutes in and Optic are still, well, okay, as I say, they finally lose a tower. But that is the first tier 1 tower going down on their half of the map in 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Fnatic have just, I mean, they've not really got the lineup to push early towers. But we're certainly seeing that.
Like I credit a lot of this to the 33 Zai lane, where Beastmaster was constantly pressuring the Lifestealer. Zai was able to get a lot of farm while stacking a bunch of camps on the eastern half of the map, and as a result, like, the tier 1 tower bot was never threatened. CCNC did an exceptional job in the mid lane versus Abed, so Abed can't really push. And the top lane Gyro, we all see how that turned out with his 15,000 net worth at 28 minutes.
I mean, an Envy as well, going for this very sort of adaptive build on the Lifestealer. It's not every day, especially in this current meta, that you see the phase, armlet, SMY, and then straight into MKB. But he feels the need to do so because there is going to be this decent butterfly timing on Pycat. There's the blinding light to worry about as well. Sure, you've got the rage, but you do want to still try and make sure that you can have that sort of consistent uptime and actually being able to offer some damage, because you don't have that radiance. You've got to be hitting the targets to be doing anything for the teams in the fights. Yeah,
the only issue is that CCNC is also becoming another target that you need to be concerned about, which he's not here at this bot fight. He can get recalled by Zai, though, and it looks like that's what will happen. And Torrent stolen by PPD.
Well, certainly can be nice for the combos. As MV shoving in that top lane. And again, 33 with the, certainly with the items that indicate that Optic Gaming really want to really want to use this advantage to close the game out. Having the Vlads picked up. We saw Optic do it once this series. Wasn't a game that they were losing in a very different sort of situation.
Right. This is the context that we more often see Vlads in, which is like, let's end the game early. We have strong push. We have a strong net worth advantage. Necrobook is also often an option, but in this situation, you're all about Pycat, and Vlad's is going to help out Pycat a lot more than a Necrobook would.
Yeah, if you can just do everything to keep Pycat alive in these fights, you're going to be feeling very confident. Optic, and he has now got that butterfly complete, so still 29 minutes in, this is a very big gyrocopter. I mean, again, it has just been one of those games where Pycat has performed very, very nice.
Was the Russian stream talking about Na'Vi?
I believe so.
I believe
of course,
so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the observer cannot hear us, so he is referring to something that the Russian caster said, as, we weren't talking about Na'Vi at all. I don't know. You got to work out the question.
Yeah, no, I was thinking in my head.
What's that NA game show where they do the answer and you have to work out the question?
Oh, Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Yeah.
That's it. General's the answer.
What is the best Slaughter that we've seen today in this tournament?
Maybe did General do this sort of build on a Beastmaster?
Oh, that's possible, actually. That's a good call.
There we go.
I think you're right.
I'll take that one for $1,000, whatever the old man's called who runs Jeopardy.
Alex Trebek.
That's the lad. Alex.
Excellent Pycat.
They're pushing in.
I mean, Homie's got a 9-second BKB.
I mean, CCNC's just standing on the low ground, punching into the tier 3 tower. He's taking it out. Can Fnatic put a stop to this? They're onto the Rex here, Optic. And they should be able to find it. Oh, one more hit. He didn't quite get it. The Rex are still alive for now. Pikeout wants to finish. He pops the BKB. He's just going to head straight in and finish the melee Rex. Looks towards DJ. The song's going to be popped, but they already lost one. Adam taking so much damage. He walks into the gyro.
Okay.
There's 4 dead. They don't have any buybacks.
Yeah.
Fnatic just losing 4. Optic sweep across towards the middle lane. They just didn't have an answer at all to that push. They couldn't do anything, and GG well played is called. Fnatic are out, and Optic Gaming winning the series and moving on to the grand finals to face up against VGJ Thunder. They really did clean up their performances here in Game 2 and Game 3 Optic.
Look at that smirk on Quinn.
He's happy.
He's very happy.
He's happy. It's not pizza tonight for that boy. They'll get someone else into the Optic camp, but he's understandably as well, because he stepped it up. You know, this really has been a land.
Let CCNC play Dota.
Yeah.
PBD puts him on a leash for game 1 and 2 in every single BO3 pretty much. And then in game 3, he takes it off. He takes him to the dog park and he's like, have fun, play Alina, beat a Kunkka mid.
I mean, that game just felt a little bit awkward from Fnatic, really. They had this lifesteal ability from Envy. He tried to do something different. I guess understandably so, considering the situation he ended up having to play the lifestealer in.
Yeah,
looking at the lineup of Optic, but it never really had any sort of impact, this lifestealer.
Right. But at the same time, if you think about the timings that Optic were hitting, like, it's possible that we may have been seeing Envy struggle to complete a relic for like all game long, and we're like, well, maybe if he had gone for an early fighting build on this lifestealer, then maybe it would have worked out a little bit better. Typically, we err towards what we see more frequently, and we way more frequently have been seeing the Radiance Solar Crest build. But whatever the case, like, Optic were on another level in this game 3, and Fnatic were not ready for it.
No, yeah. Oh, that just as an overall Optic, just looking like a much more polished team, which of course is going to be expected. Fnatic, they did turn up this LAN with the change in the roster for this tournament, at least with Adam taking the part. And it was always going to be expected that there was going to be some weaknesses because you're playing with a different roster.
Exactly.
You switched out one of sort of the key here, the key support players, Pylai Dai taking the sidelines for now, and Adam stepping in. There's always going to be sort of that weakness in that sense. And overall, Optic, Game 2 and Game 3, no sort of questions there. They were the better team here today. And looks like we might have the man, the myth, the legend from North America himself.
He did very well.
It is Mr. PPD on stage for you, ladies and gentlemen.
So, NA Dota prevails one more time, and here with me Peter from Team Optic. Well, I'm going to talk about the heroes a bit. Lina seems to be super successful at this tournament. Can you explain me why? What makes her so strong in this meta?
It's a comfort hero for Quinn. He's played it a long time. He was known for playing it in the last TI qualifiers, and it's a nice hero that you can kind of pick. He doesn't lose very many lanes. It's pretty safe.
Well, but DK is like an opposite to Lina. Has like 22% of win rate in this tournament. But you guys still used it. Why?
I mean, maybe we're doing something wrong.
Well, maybe. In your opinion, how this latest patch affected your role, like support role?
Are you talking about like the latest, or?
The latest one, yeah.
I don't think it really have changed anything, or at least we're not aware of it yet. We're just doing our best to win our games and play our style.
Well, but at least you get less gold for towers and stuff. I think it's going to affect support life.
Yeah, it's been rough, but the last couple of patches have been pretty generous, and I've been farming a lot more. So I got to farm a lot in the last game, or a decent amount. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Well, and as the last hope of the Western world, what can you say to the fans? Maybe any message before the grand final?
I know everybody here is a big Na'Vi fan, and I'm sorry that they're not here, but we're going to do our best to bring it home for the West.
Thank you, and good luck in the final.
The crowd definitely seems behind Optic for this series and probably also for the next. Maybe it was because Pycat used to be a Na'Vi, who knows? They're ready with the cheers though, and it worked for this third game. Optic victorious, they make it to the grand finals. We were already expecting this for this particular game. I'm not sure if we were expecting it to be this one-sided though, Lacoste, this third game then.
Yes.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Well,
He saw it coming.
yeah. Well, both supports are kind of weak. You have Naga Siren. They think that I guess Naga Siren is the first back material every single game. That there's a reason why she's not. Maybe it's just a comfort pick for Adam. Both of these supports don't put enough pressure. Bottom lane was doing all right for them with that lifestealer who got enough of the farm, but the other two lanes were being lost for them, and they have a heroes who can't really come back into the game. They have nothing that they can start a fight with. You can use X torrent, but then you need to be in the range of a torrent, which is pretty bad initiation. Like 33 is utility god. When he's making the items, like he builds into Vlad's, he builds into these cheap items, medallion, just excel so they can keep the pressure from the early to the mid game. If you remember one of his Brood games, Helm of the Dominator, then he builds into drums, then into pipe, and just finish the game AC from there. His game knowledge is really, really good.
It's a fantastic point, and it stands in such stark contrast with how the other NA teams like EG and even Fnatic themselves have been running Beastmaster. If you look at when EG or Fnatic will pick a Beastmaster, very often that Beastmaster will be the most farmed hero in the game at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah.
Whereas 33, that's kind of sacrificial offlane style. He's building into those utility items, concentrating more on rotating, on controlling the lane equilibrium across the map. I think his play has been such an important stabilizing influence for Optic. And yeah, you know, you're a part of enough of those moves, and you get up there in hero damage.
Yeah, look at him. More damage than Lina, actually. He's always active early on. I mean, you build items that the game allows you to build. Like this game, he feels that he needs to build into armor items against the Kunkka, which is pretty much all physical damage against the Lifestealer as well, just to boost his team with the armor and the auras.
There was only one tower, I think, taken on the side of Optic by the end of the game. And that's why there's nobody of Fnatic here on the siege damage list.
And it just, you know what, so often on the panel, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with these teams, so we're kind of guessing. But I have to call what I see with my eyes, and that's that Fnatic look like a team right now that just don't trust each other. They are afraid to make these moves around the map because they're afraid to die. They're afraid that, you know, the teammates are gonna be angry with them. There was a sequence in the early 20s where 3 Fnatic heroes had all 5 Optic heroes down in the Radiant jungle pushing the tier 2 tower, and Abed and Adam were both on the upper left, and the wave was pushing toward the dire tier 1 top tower. That was kind of an easy trade scenario, or at least easy chip damage, and Abed's kind of hanging around behind the tower cutting the wave, and Adam's sort of staying out of vision, worried that he's going to have to threaten and TP Song if things go wrong. And you have to commit to those plays. I worry Fnatic, part of the reason that they're getting these very long games is that they're playing scared Dota.
A great point.
They
It
don't
feels
trust
like
themselves.
they're not on the same page with what everyone needs to do in a fight. Do they need to focus Lina? Do you need to follow up with your second or your first spell? It feels really uncoordinated.
Yeah, and you already see there that the Lina is supposed to be, I actually had to message a couple people to check. Lina is supposed to be matchup over in that lane against the Kunkka, and you can see Fnatic felt they needed to gank that lane early. CCNC was off the early CS start and eventually recaptured it after she came back to the lane. Again, just making moves around the map here, even though 33 he's not really up there in farm. He's bottom half of the net worth distribution throughout most of the game. He's the one dictating the action.
Yeah, this is a good song to start with. They just sleep everyone who doesn't have a BKB, use a net on Gyro, and try to focus him down, but they don't have enough damage.
Right.
Plus, also there's a Illuminate coming out from Keeper of the Light. Their timings on the items were right on point.
Yeah,
once again.
Zai just got so much farm in this game.
Yeah, he did. Went for a 4-star first. He knew he was going to have the time to get that Axe later on. It felt like a very comfortable game from Optic, and it just felt like Fnatic. We've seen Pango take over a game before as well. He just, none of the lanes were doing well.
I just wanted to mention Pango.
Yeah.
you really don't feel the influence of Pango in this game. Pango seems like his really balanced hero. Maybe he could even receive some of the buffs, I would dare to say, unlike Dark Willow.
Yeah, MVP, Pycat. Sure, Pycat did really great.
Well,
I mean,
allowed this kills participation, and we had 69 in one of the games now.
Yeah.
Pycat has one.
Yeah. And the just the big damage numbers, of course. I mean, he did his job.
My
in
favorite
this game.
number as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh,
for this series, I would say this was a good team effort. We've been talking about how Optic, this is their true test, and to see if they can do well with this squad as is,
Yeah.
because obviously the goal is not to win here, even though they really want that, but the goal is to win TI.
Yeah.
And they need to know if they can win TI with this squad, and I think they have made a very good case so far with the way they've been playing. They seem on the same page, definitely a step up from a couple of months ago from when we saw them.
I just think there's especially with a young team, or at least a team with some young players, there's always this tendency, you have one good event, right? And you show that you can beat the newbies and the LGDs and the Liquids of the world, but there's always that tendency to have the post-event hangover because, hey, you feel like we're good now. You feel like you accomplished something.
Yes.
And it really is, it's very encouraging to me to see Optic come into this event just as focused, on point with their drafting once again. Great team play, great early game. Yeah, this is a squad. They need to continue to improve if they're going to be those TI contenders, but they look like they're on that path.
Yeah, as for Fnatic, obviously they get eliminated here. They do take home some points, but not great, not enough to move one slot up. Lucas, final thoughts on Fnatic? They did play with the stand in this event.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be temporarily or they're going to keep him, but they definitely need to work on their decision making. When they play good, they really play good, but you can see that their games last way longer than the other teams, and that they should work on that.
These guys are really, really good. Like, Abed and DJ are amazing players. Universe is one of the all-time greats. This team, it's just upsetting to me to see this team play less than the sum of its parts. And, I know people want to put all the blame on Envy. I don't think that's fair.
No.
This team needs... I think it needs Adam in the coaching role a whole lot more than it needs him at the 5 position. But, again, not up to me.
The inner workings of the team is definitely the key factor, I think, here for them not making it through. But all more credit to Optic, because they obviously do manage to make it through, and they make it to the grand finals. They will go up against VGJ Thunder, who were earlier today victorious against Vega Squadron and looked like the VGJ Thunder of old. And when I say old, I mean like 2 months ago. It's not that old. But that means that we've got 2 very fresh squads in the grand finals. Before that, though, we are going to take a break because Optic, they need a break after playing the series. And we need a break to prepare for what is to be an exciting best of 5. So stay tuned. We'll be back.